We feel many emotions on a day like today, but it's clear the emotions that Father Bob Condon would want us to feel. And those are joy and thanksgiving. A few weeks ago, Bob came down to breakfast at the Newcastle Retirement Facility where he lived and saw a friend of his, Len, and said, "Len, the doctor gave me great news yesterday." "Well, yeah, what was that, Bob?" He said, "I only have a month to live." "How's that good news?" Father Bob responded, "I finally get to go to see my God." Everyone who spoke with Bob in the last few weeks noted how peaceful, how joyful, and how grateful he was. And on this day, he would want us to feel the same. Last night at the wake, we recalled his wonderful qualities. He was intelligent, thoughtful, scholarly, well-read. He was a man of very few words. In my family, we tell a story that Father Bob had the honor to say the grace at meals, and my mother kind of chided him that the grace was a little too spare, that it didn't have enough flourish and rhetorical power, because he just said, "Bless the Lord," and these like gifts. So she asked him to say a bit more fulsome grace, and we were all waiting in anticipation of this, and in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and he simply said, "Bless," in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Which irritated his sister. He was a great listener. He always listened more than he spoke. He was always genuine. He was compassionate and kind and affectionate with all around him. He always learned the names of not only, of course, his nieces and nephews, but of their children, and asked about them and greeted them. He always greeted you with a kiss and left you with a kiss. And he never hesitated, whenever he met you, to tell you that he loved you. He was always a person whose affection was apparent, and he was never afraid to express it. And for all these qualities, I think that is partly what made him such an effective priest. You know, the Latin word for priest is pontifex, which literally means bridge builder. Father, the job of any priest is to build and, in fact, to be a bridge across which people can come to God, across which people can come to Christ. That calling deeply shaped Father Bob's life and his priesthood. I think when we remember him on this day, it's important to be honest. Bob was sometimes frustrated by the church. He had no patience for what he saw as ecclesiastical pretentiousness. He sometimes was frustrated that the church didn't listen more, its people didn't dialogue more. Sometimes angered at decisions that seemed arbitrary or inflexible. But for all that, Bob had an abiding and profound faith. And that faith was centered on a conviction of the unconditional love and mercy of God for each and every one of us. At the heart of the gospel for Father Bob was the love of God made manifest in Jesus Christ. For him, everything else was more or less peripheral. And that central conviction about God's love, unfathomable character of that love, shaped the way he lived and the way he ministered as a priest. That was, I think, behind the great affection he showed people. Great kindness he showed everyone he met. The respect he had for everyone he encountered. It was behind his compassionate and unjudgmental approach to everyone who engaged him, particularly as a priest, and walked away with a deeper sense of God's forgiveness and love and calling to holiness. It was behind his profound love for the Eucharist that was apparent in everything he did. And it was certainly behind the joy and the peace that he felt in the past weeks as he knew his life was coming to an end. And on a personal note, it was Father Bob's interaction with me, with my family. He was such an important presence to all of us, many of us. He was always there for family occasions. It was that had such a profound effect on me and drew me to the priesthood, even before I think I was able to explain it or articulate it. It was that sense of the power of living as a priest, bringing God's love, proclaiming that love, not only by what you said, but how you interacted with people. He was always so genuine, so warm, so compassionate and kind. And this attracted so many people to him and touched so many lives in such a profound way. And I personally saw that impact throughout my life, my earliest days. And that led me to say that's a worthy life. It's a very worthy life. So we're grateful for this life. We're grateful for all that he's brought. Today we send to God a brother, an uncle, a friend, a teacher, a great priest. Father Bob made his life into a bridge across which we all walked to grow closer to God's love. And there are so many people who can't be in this church today. People to whom Bob ministered at Briarcliff, his various assignments, who also walked across that bridge. Today we fold up that bridge. Because it's Bob's turn to go to God. Father Bob lived his life and did the best he could to make the words of Christ in today's gospel powerful and present. Jesus said to his disciples, I have made your name known to them, so that the love which you, Father, with which you, Father, have loved me, may be in them, and I may be in them. Father Bob lived his life the best he could to have that love live in him and through him to live in us. We send him to his loving God today with great joy and great thanksgiving.